So this they've seen, okay? Now, I'm not sure about all of this in here, what the hell's going on, but there's one thing I am clear about is that there was a picture taken at a different angle and it captures this bit in it in the asbestos report in 2020. Yeah, in 2020, I believe. No, it wasn't. It was in 2000. Something like that. In the asbestos report, I got the pictures. This was captured in there. And so all of this here. Now, the weirdest thing is, no idea. There's like a piece of wood they've screwed that into, no wall plugs. And the same with this one. No wall plugs. It's just been screwed straight into brickwork, which is the brick. Just straight up into it. Now, I had Paul Clark come round and do an inspection, right? I mean, it's just anywhere you go, they've just ground out the wall. Here's another one here. This one goes through into the front room, I'll show you in a second. And bits just fletch off now and then. The wall seems to be, I don't know, spongy in places. I'm just not sure. But this is hanging on, barely. I got other videos of this with different timestamps. The electrician was here, but everyone just okays it. This thing is barely holding on the wall. Like I think you can tell that they've put a screw in to the plaster, I think. I'm not sure, but it's loose. Hang on, how can I get that? I mean, shouldn't pull on it really, but I'm not tugging. And it looks like a wire has been nipped round the back there, where they've screwed in. Maybe not. Crikey, that is close. Look at that. I mean, should that really be sticking out the wall that much? Is that how an electric box is supposed to be? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but they were so fascinated with my electrics, my solar panels actually. They didn't want to know about this. There is no screws in that. I don't even know if there has been. Maybe there has. Oh, I don't know. There's something black in there. Can we see through? I don't know. So, I don't know whether this has had its fair share. Don't know if that's picking it up or not. I can't actually see. My phone camera is not the best in the world. So this is loose. I don't know. Don't know if there was anything in there at one point or not. Looks like there could have been. There was previously a hole here and they fill it with mastics, but anything else? Nah. This thing just sits in here, got crumbling. I mean, if you barely touch it, it just crumbles away. The whole thing is just crumbling away. I can't explain it. I'm constantly breathing this stuff. It is just very spongy wool. It's I mean, just slightest touch. Oh, it's Mastix stuff. Okay, fair enough. I don't know. It's like that Mastix. It's so crumbly. The whole thing just crumbles with the slightest touch. The whole wall is doing this in different varying places around the house. It just, everything is so spongy is the word. But they must have had some damp in here at one point, at one time or another, because they put in the DPC or whatever it's called. I mean, I did ask them on viewing whether there's been any damp reported in the property, and they said no. So they've had their surveyors out. Paul Clark from the council's been out. The only one was the independent one that actually took any notice of any of this. Now I've brought this to their attention. Now some of this has some foam on it or some tar stuff on it, but not all of it. Some of this is flaky in places. That's asbestos rope. It's terrible. I don't know, and even down there as well. It's just, I don't know, it's like all the walls just crumble. It just all crumbles. Crumbling walls everywhere. Damp and mould is another issue, but I don't think it should be doing that. And just when you look at the way it's, I don't know if I can get there. I'll have to look this video back. to see what's going on there. This one I can see with the screen. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's normal. I'm not sure. I doubt it. And there you are. And if I plug anything in, let's say, like a vapor pen, and I touch it, it feels like it vibrates. Now, I'm not sure if that's something to do with the earth. I don't know. The earth's what, connected to there, that then is connected to there, which then goes into the box. I don't know if that's supposed to be on a wall or not. I don't know. Is there supposed to be a stake somewhere, or is it run via the cable? But when anything is plugged in, such like a vapor pen, and I'm touching the floor, and I rub my finger underneath the vapor pen, it vibrates. When I sit on a couch, and I rub my finger under it, I don't feel that vibration feeling. So I don't know if that's an earth issue. I'm not sure. This whole thing is just absolutely weird to me. The thing that's holding it is these. They stop it from coming off of the wall. So this was like it in the report. This was pushed up here, just like that. So if you don't touch it, it looks the job. You touch it, You touch the wall, I don't know. It's just everywhere you go, everything just seems to be so flaky. It just crumbles at the touch. Not really sure, to be honest. I don't know. So again, someone's come out and put this out, and there's cold air come through here. It comes from the loft, most of this air. I don't know. I don't know, just everything is so crumbly and fracturing and splitting in places. So there you are, that's one part. So that hole that goes there, if you follow the wall round, because I mean, I've had a go at this, but it's all coming away here. And then if you go around here, that's where another one is. That runs through there. So I guess it's the wires for the heater. Not really sure. And then there's another. But apparently they don't know anything about these things. Yo. Another one is here. And they love holes. I filled this in with the silicone as best as I could. There's another one over there. There was all mold across this wall. This wall is often wet. I say damp. Yeah, it's wet. Hard to explain it. Everything here is damp. All the walls are damp. And I mean, they suspected that there was something to do with the water inlet pipe down there that is the cause of the problem. But because the meter kept spinning outside, you see, but they haven't been back to do anything about it. It's, I don't know, it's damp. It stinks. I think the mold's starting to grow again. It really smells bad in here. Oh man, this stinks. It's going to need another go in again. I'm constantly using anti-mold and fungus stuff in here. Continuously. I don't know. And the mold seems to keep coming back. It's relentless. Oh, look at that. I don't even know why that is in there. Oh, again, it's wet. This whole wall is wet. I can't explain it to you, although it doesn't seem like it on my fingers. I can assure you this wall is wet. I can feel it. All I've done is just put some emulsion over it to try and kill off any of the mold. This is really moldy. I've got some pictures somewhere else, but it is wet. So, there you are. And then Paul Clark come and did his damp meter down here. I don't know if you see it. This is with me not cleaning it with the damp and mold remover. It's all in the corner here. Do you see it? All of that black. And it's now starting to grow all down the bottom here. But Paul took a reading. See all of that? Paul took his meter reading down there, you see, on this wall here. I don't know if you can see it all. And that's the growth. That's just what happens. This wall gets wet. All of it is wet to touch at certain times. I don't know if you can see it in there, how shiny it is, flickery, it's wet. I don't know if I can get that to zoom a bit better than that. If I touch it, it's wet. Everything here is wet and mouldy. And I'm continuously throwing chemicals on here. But Paul was here, he took pictures of it. That's from the council. And he said that he couldn't find any damp or anything else. There's no signs or evidence of damp or mould in this property. I don't think you were looking very hard, Paul. I would say that was a damp issue, this blistering. The gloss keeps blistering. Oh look, it's wet underneath it, look at that. This is wet. So this is in the kitchen, and it's in the socket. Got some more. And another place is down here. This wall is not insulated. None of it is. And again, you have to continuously hit this with anti-damp and mould solutions in order to try and stop the mould from coming. This whole area here is wet and it grows on the floor. I've got a whopping great big unit here that's getting ruined by it. It's now started moulding all the way around the back. It's all wet. Everything is sopping. That piece of wood there is starting to take the battering. I've only just recently put it in. The mould growth is spectacular. It's ruining my units. It's wet underneath it to the point that it's rusting my unit legs. It's absolutely crazy. This whole area is just mouldy. It's destroying my unit. Slightly above where that mould is down here growing, and it grows up this whole wall if left. The whole wall is spongy. Here is another place. This is all spongy. The wall here is completely spongy underneath the heater. This wall is not insulated, not at all. There's no insulation in this wall cavity whatsoever, and this is an outer wall. Oh my god. There is no insulation in the wall. And it just moulds and it sweats. That window there where that mastix is, that stuff there is mastix. That's a hole that comes all the way through, and it is on the outside as well. This one here, this is mastix. This stuff here is mastix. You can open this window here from the outside and it molds. Apparently, according to Paul Clark, there's no damp. Now, this is after a few days of me not doing anything with it. Since Paul come round, I've stopped, and the mould, the black mould, has started progressing again, and it fills in that whole vent. That vent is usually sprayed up. It's in all the windows, actually. It's on all of them. That's probably why they've replaced the ceiling at one stage or another, and the mould is on there. It also runs across the whole entire wall. The wall is just sopping wet. All the way from the bottom to the top, it condensates. This whole wall is soaked. And it begins to start moulding up. I got compromised immunity, but hey, never mind. So is my daughter, but it's alright. It grows around everything and it starts to get on everything. And this window can be opened from the outside, isn't that amazing? I don't know if I can get a little bit closer to it and just show you the growth. "60 humidifiers. Had 7, but I took one apart. They keep saying, oh, we'll pay for your energy bill. Oh, we'll do this. Everything is wet. Just not the window itself. Isn't that interesting? Stinks. Literally stinks. It's in every single room. Every single room in the house. Seems to be where the cabinets are. This is the stuff I'm on about. This thick mould here. It looks dirty, right? But this is cleaned repeatedly, but it's coming from underneath these tiles. And we already pulled some up, and there was so much mold underneath here. It was just not funny. Mold. Thick, stodgy, black stuff. And it's very sticky, and it's almost impossible to get rid of it. Just can't remove it. So no doubt it's under this unit as well. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Continuously sticking down anti-mold and mildew spray. It just will not make it stop coming back. The floor is sweaty in this whole room. And this is the flooring out of the kitchen. Again, black mold, paint peeling off of all the sides. The mold is underneath the flooring. It's under the heater, behind the heater. It just seems like that's why they've stuck heaters in really weird places, because of all the mold. I'll get some more. And here is the floor in the front room. Mold, nothing but mold. And again, it's just everywhere. I just got to put these down, because if not, anything that sits on it molds. Anything that sits on the floor molds. I'll update those pictures in a bit. There is a vent that was not blocked before they did demolition on a chimney, and they never tested it for asbestos. They're only now coming out to check it for asbestos. Paul said that my unit was in the way. My unit is still there. You can still access it, and it doesn't go to the wall. Again, more mold. Even looks like there's moisture there. Catch that on there? Do you see it? The sort of sweaty marks in between the wood. It's on every single floorboard underneath here, and if not, it's on the tiles. It grows in between it. Everything just looks so sweaty wet coming through the floorboards here. I mean, it's how bad you gotta be before they actually start to do something about it. And again, I'll suspect that it's the chimney, but the chimney has been sorted, and still, it's on everything. Green mold, black mold, every room, everywhere. This flooring was left down by Saffron. This place is just thick and full of it. In between the floorboards, nothing but mold. It's in every single room, bedrooms, everywhere. It stinks. You're so lucky not to be able to smell this, because it absolutely stinks. Every single floor. And I've had someone independent come out, and they found that all the floors in the house, no matter where they use their tools, is all damp. All of it. It's destroying all of the skirting board. It grows up the wall. It's just everywhere. Dampness on all the walls. There's strange stuff all over everything. Mold grows, you name it. And if it's not being continuously sprayed down, you know, and that's what you have to live with. It's a you problem. Anything you put on the floor for long periods starts sweating. Oh, it stinks. Oh man, you just have no idea how bad this smells. It all looks so wet and sweaty. And it flakes off in places, the wood. You get splintered. Oh man, it stinks. It all flakes off. Mold under the tiles, on the tile, it just smells really bad. And the wood itself just splinters. It's so rotten. Everywhere you go, doesn't matter where it is, anything that's left on the floor molds. Everything, it molds. And you just got to continuously clean it. This is the type of property that they let out. These are skirting boards. Again, you might say something about my speaker wires. All of the paint everywhere is just fletching off, or you've got damage to the walls. So that's the front room. Even in the bedrooms, it's the same. There is no rest from this stuff. It's everywhere, on the windows, you name it. And it starts eating away at your furniture. Anything that you leave down on the floor starts to take it on. Everything, clothing, furniture. That's my sofa. It doesn't matter where. Anything that's left down starts to have this effect or pattern, or mold growth starts to appear on everything. days because it's touching the floor. So there you are, and that's with Paul Clark coming out. It's the same in this one. Had to rip the flooring up, my flooring, because it's all warped. Even on this stuff, it molds underneath it. The floorboards, in between the gaps in the floorboard. If I go further over in this bedroom, because it's not even a bedroom, you can't even call it that. It grows over here on this. Oh, it stinks. It absolutely stinks. Anywhere you go, you find it. Oh, I can't tell you how much it stinks. And then if you try redecorating, forget it, because every single thing on the wall just starts to blister. Just get paint blistering off in areas. Just the paint just keeps blistering. It just comes off. So absolute waste of money with the flooring as well. It's in between the floorboards. Dog shite and God knows what else. It just stinks. And as soon as you put anything on the floor in, it just ruins it. I got whopping great big holes in the bathroom as well. I mean, we're in the bathroom. Just brick dust. You're just continuously breathing brick dust and past rodent drop-ins and infestations such like that. You can see their old scratch marks. No one's cleared up the shite. The bricks just get left. Concrete. If I can get down here, it's the same as the kitchen. If you can see it. And again with the walls. Another thing that's been brought to their attention, I just hit it with a bit of plaster, but it's not doing anything about it. It's really not. It just keeps coming back. The wall is spongy. I daren't push it because it'll just break. The wall will break. There's lots of these miniature cracks appearing everywhere that then turn into big whopping great big holes. That's one side. Another one is running across here towards the toilet. And here, where all the tiles are, just holes. The walls are crumbling. I don't get it. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And the tiles begin to come off because of it. I daren't touch it because it's just going to exacerbate the situation. All they do is just come and put silicone around it. I don't know, they actually haven't come to do anything about this. I've told them on the phone. Part of it's in complaint, part of it's on the phone. Just this weird bubbling stuff just appearing on the walls. Again, if I lift up a board or something, it's under. And then if I come over here at the other end of the room, it's also under. Mold. Just mold after mold, wet after wet, stench after stench. This again was left down. Oh, it stinks. This floor molds. Those black particles on there is actually mold. If you leave it, the longer you leave it, without putting any mold blocker down. Here's the side that I have done. Here. Even then, it just keeps coming back. No matter what you do, it keeps coming back. And then this is this side. No matter what you do, this black furry stuff, again it's in the asbestos pictures, and then moving into here, this flooring is all warped. Nails rusted, some of them have got blistery bits on them. I'll show you this in more detail. I've put some stuff down to try and limit the smell as best as I can in between these gaps. But it's when you lift up underneath these types of flooring here, everything feels sticky, tacky, wet and sticky. It is just everywhere. Please see other videos. That's the only thing I can really say. And that's why I've only done these bits that have been exposed, just trying to deal with the smell, trying to deal with the mold. It just grows. Constantly cleaning this floor. But underneath here, and underneath the rest, it's just, ooh. That's why I've left parts, just in case the surveyor wants to come and see a bit more. You know,